Good evening. It's showtime. It's 11:01 and it's March 26th. I'm Teddy and you are listening to Night Talk. I was looking at another document and thinking about the date. So come on in and join me for a few minutes and let me give you a quick, it's more or less an update. Something was filed today. I will tell you what the judge ordered. It was brief and it was more. What was that? Okay. So, what happened was a filing, ECF 151. What happened? So, a few days ago, the defendant filed ECF 148. We went over that. That filing tried to do two things at once: object to the court's order, and secondly, ask for a stay of that same order. It was all bundled together in one document. Now, on paper, that might sound efficient, but in reality, it's not allowed. So the court has a very basic rule. You don't combine separate filings into one. Objections go in one lane, emotions go in another. And if you ignore that, the court basically, it, there's no debate about it. It just strikes the filing. So that's exactly what happened in Order 151. The judge didn't say, these arguments are wrong, these arguments are right. The judge said, this filing is improper. And let's just see what it's titled. So it was an order striking defendant's improper filings, ECF number 148. Defendant Daniel Robertson made a filing combining her objections to the court's March 3rd, 2026 order ECF number 144 with a motion to stay that order pending resolution of those objections. ECF number 148. Under the court's local rules, motions must not be combined with any other standalone document. Papers filed in violation of this rule will be stricken. That's Eastern District, Michigan, LR 7.1. Robertson's objections and motions were improperly combined, and the filing is thus stricken. Robertson may file corrected objections by April 3rd, 2026, which is a week from Friday. So she gets another chance to file these objections, but they need to be stand alone. But here's where people might get confused because when they hear stricken, they think something major just changed. Well, it didn't. The court, as I mentioned, gave the defendant a very specific instruction. You can file, pardon me, you can refile your objections, but you have to do it correctly, and you have until April 3rd to do it. So this is not a win, it's not a loss, it's a reset on formatting. But the other part that actually matters, and this is the part you really want to pay attention to or don't miss. Nothing about the underlying order changed. Nothing. The order requiring compliance, it's still in effect. The obligation to disclose name and address, still in effect. The risk of contempt, still in effect. And the court even reminds everyone an order remains in full force unless it is stayed. So the defendant tried to pause the order, but did it incorrectly. So the court said, no, try again. But until she successfully files a proper motion and actually gets a stay granted, the clock does not stop, which means we are still in the same place we were before this ruling. There is an active court order. Compliance is required, and it has not happened. So, what changed? Only this. She has to clean up her paperwork before the court will even consider her challenge. And that matters. But also keep in mind, ECF 150 was filed. So some might think, well, can they be both filed? They can, because one is objections and the other is a response to the order to show cause. The judge, the court expects structure, expects rules to be followed. That's for both parties. And when someone can't follow basic just filing rules, it doesn't exactly strengthen their position on bigger issues. So, again, the takeaway simple: ECF 148 didn't fail because of the argument, it failed because of how it was filed. And until it's refiled correctly, and I'm certain it's going to be refiled, it has no effect. But meanwhile, the order she's trying to avoid, it's still standing right where it was. And that's where things are right now. For me, further delay in just more, you know, every time something is filed, every time it gets read by the court and there's a ruling on it. This was simple for the magistrate judge to look at, follow. It just, you can't combine, emotion and objections in the same brief. Mhm. Let me come out and say hello to the mob. All my other bears, I call the grizzlies and the honey bears. You know, there must be something in the water. Either something in the water here on this platform, or just, it's the year, the season of uh, litigation. Yeah. So, yes, right at the bottom, baby Juju. So, can they still hit her with contempt and sanctions? It's still in effect. That was an objection. So, that's as if it was never filed until she gets it filed and the judge is allowing her time to do so. All right. That is so it's really two tracks. One, a response was due on the 24th. The defendant filed that response directly to the show cause. But as I mentioned yesterday, did it answer or respond to ECF 144, which was the conclusion. The court thus grants Evans' motion for an order to show cause. That's ECF number 134 I filed. Robertson must show cause why she should not be held in contempt and sanctioned for her defiance of Judge Levy's order to disclose her legal name and postal address. Under notice to parties, when an objection, and that is what was filed, and that is what was stricken, when an objection is filed to a magistrate judge's ruling on a non-dispositive motion or dispositive motion, the ruling remains in force and effect unless and until it's stayed by the magistrate judge or a district judge. So it's still in effect. Just because objections were filed, that's independent of the filing to respond to show cause. The judge or the court still expects that to be filed and properly to be filed and responded to. So that hasn't been ruled on. So right now, it hasn't been stayed. And she filed for a stay, and that stay, along with the objections that were combined into one, that has been stricken, and she has been given until April the 3rd to refile correctly. So, yes, I think. I mean, right now, I mean, yes, because the judge can rule on it. She can rule just on the show cause, the response, ECF 150. So let me see. Let me go back and read it carefully. So can they still hit her with contempt and sanctions? Yes. It's my understanding based on what I just, it's still in effect. It hasn't been stayed. But she has clearance to refile because, not because of what was in the objections. It really stopped there. It was that you can't combine. So, in all fairness, that's a rule. Yeah. So it would have been stricken for anyone. You just can't combine the two. And by the way, to get a stay, this is her third attempt at a stay. You know, there have been so many filings. I will say at least number 3. At least number 3. So just procedurally, that gets filed again. Right? Yes, recycling. And I just talked about 150 being re-arguing what 148 was. It was more argument. Yeah. But the judge will rule, and something like that immediately would get the attention of the magistrate to inform uh, the party if something is in error, such as that. So that also means they're they see these filings every day when they're uploaded. That was just recently up. Some they are, weighing and looking and waiting for everything to come in, and something like that, yeah, notified. It needs to be resubmitted correctly. Hmm? So yes. And if the judge is waiting for all of, everything to come in, collate, and just kind of look at it all together, I don't know. But I'm just saying, in general, each time something gets filed and it has to be refiled, it just keeps moving, the court a little bit further away from, a decision on that filing. Right? So let me say hello to some of you. I see those out in the bear cave. Let's just start at the top, and then maybe we can move to something else, or we can wrap it up. I don't know. So again, to my moderators, Baby Juju and Vicky Black, you can also email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Hello to Junebug. Good evening to Fiva. And let's see, we have V Love in the bear cave. I know. OMG, wow. Oh, and how do I really think, or maybe I should, let me just keep reading these. Yeah. Ivy, good evening, says hello, Teddy. And let's see. Viva says it's still in effect. Yes. And should have come with some sanctions. Well, I don't know. Judge hasn't ruled. Listen carefully. I can't, don't know how it's going to go. Games people play. The court has addressed something very similar happened before, where things were combined. Yeah. I don't know. Enough running is enough. Good evening, Golden Defiance Queen. I'm like, how many stays are you allowed? I don't think there is a limit to parties filing if it's in order and if the judge, the court allows. I don't know. So far, I mean, the defendant has filed multiple times for this case to be dismissed, and that's what we're working on right now. That's why we had to go through an R&R report and recommendations and objections and go through this and all over again. Yeah. And it gets narrowed, and things are getting narrowed down. And it's this last claim. Yeah. But there are other things too. And I have not yet decided if I'm going to respond to any of these recent filings, or whether I'd be allowed to or need to. Let me just say that I I haven't responded to anything yet, more than what is on the record. Mhm. Yes, frustrating. That's a good word. It is. Yeah, I'm the plaintiff, and we're trying to get to the next stage here. And this case, this court, we've been going back and forth a lot. So many filings, motions, objections. We're at ACF 151. And yes, it is drawing it out. It is. Anything and everything. When we get to the point that this next ruling, when I'm talking about ruling, the report and recommendation, the district judge, this is what we are waiting on now. All of the objections to the magistrate report and recommendation, that was ECF 138, those are in. The objections to each other's objections, those are in. What we're talking about now is a separate motion that I filed and some time ago, and the judge ruled in my favor the motion for the defendant to show cause. Well, that date has come and gone, and just happened 2 days ago. And her objections to that were just stricken, and she's been given a date to redo and resubmit them. So that's separate. I know. A lot to keep up with. And this defendant has filed so many in this last round, supplements to other filings. Absolutely, this is something that she does. She will file a response or a motion or reply, and then she'll come back a little bit later and decide she wants to supplement it. And even recently, just this past week, supplemented one of her own filings. It seems a second time. So the judge is allowing it. And she's still she's not complied. So she's still in non-compliance. And she's filing all of these. Yeah. So that's the court. Yeah. And this, as I said, this next ruling is a very important one from the district judge. It is decision time. We will know. I will know. We all will know where this case is headed in her next. If she rules on, well, not if, when she rules on whether to adopt the report and recommendation and has reviewed the objections. If she agrees, um, you know, denies, we won't know, and that's on both. So there's a lot, and I don't expect a response to all of that. Not before. Now this is just me. Not before sometime April, maybe mid-April. Yeah. If I look at how she's been kind of responding time wise to report and recommendation, yeah, it's like 30 days. The first round comes in, the objections, and then the objections to the objections. That cycle is just about 6 to 8 weeks. And that would put us mid April. I mean, it can come sooner, it can come later. But I'm just saying, expectation. Yeah. She's going to respond. Yeah. This time, it's uh, it's going to just happen. And yeah, I'm not compared to the last time and waiting for, the same gravity is there, but as far as being wondering when is she going to respond, or is she going to yes, she will respond even if it takes 2 months. No, it doesn't matter how long it takes. But I think this court would like to, move this along. Yeah. So they have their eyes on it. Both of them. Closer today than yesterday. True. Absolutely. Let's see. Let me go up. Yes. Very long process. Vicky, it is arduous. It is. And making jokes. It's YouTube. I'm not even, it's separate tracks. Yeah. Yeah, one day at a time. Yes, at least the judge gave less time to respond. Yeah. Well, it's probably not going to be that difficult for her to respond because both are compiled in, one in, yeah, she can just break it up into two. Yeah. And I was going to say, will she wait until April the 3rd? She might. She might just to delay it. Yeah. She may just do that. Or, yeah, because she got she got it in. Mhm. But if she wants to, get it in front of the judge, quickly get it in, yeah, I don't know. So far, she takes all the time that's given. Yeah. Let's see, who do we have here? Yes, positive vibes. All comments and opinions are allegedly and their own thoughts. Correct. I see a question and I'd rather not comment on it. Mhm. Because I'd just rather not answer that question. Um, let's see the next one. Um, I don't know that the thought did cross my mind. Is it possible? I don't know. um, I don't know. It's called, she said, chess, not checkers. And so again, I'm listening and looking through videos from 2024, and I'm looking, for relevant information. Um, can't tell you exactly what I'm going to do, but definitely some things that were published in 2024. I'm like, why didn't I listen to this? Why didn't I? Even the judge said it's just these long videos. Because what I typically do is I just, you know, scan through them. Um, so I learned a little bit more. 2024. Which one was it? Oh, I definitely want to make sure this volume is mute. As a matter of fact, I'm not even. Let's just close it altogether. The last time that I've tried to do that is, look at something and put it into my own words. 2 seconds of sound she struck, and don't want to make that mistake again. Mhm. Right. Yeah. If it was the court officials, I'd be annoyed. I don't like playing games. Mhm. Yes, thanks for supporting this channel. Wow, it's 11:30 already. 11:35. Okay, we're not going to be on much longer. Let's see. Wow, it's a part that I want. Uh, oh, Let me just see. Let me see. Let me see. In advance, if I hear anything like noise, the sound of her voice, anything, just know I'm not even going to announce it. I am going to delete the video immediately. But there was something. I'll just I'll just say it like this. Danielle knew in advance that the PPO hearing was scheduled. That she knew that it had been filed by the PPO petitioner. She knew, based on what I listened to today, she knew that a man attempted to serve me. She knew it was a man. And she said, when we tried to get her served, we being the petitioner, she used the word we. I'm not going to tell you much of anything else, but I know you're listening, Danielle. And that part of the conspiracy, well, the court dismissed that because I didn't prove that there was planning. She did find, the magistrate judge did find that there was, at minimum, conspiracy to get that picture unlawfully from the PPO hearing and into the hands of the defendant. That is clear. But overall conspiracy, I need to prove that there was a plan between them to file the PPO. And I didn't show that clearly. No. We, she said, when we were trying to get her served, there was a man who was trying to serve Bundy. Really? Tried, and then said she finally got served. We finally, really? And that multiple times she talked about knowing when I was served, knowing the process that it hadn't been served, the time frame, watching it all according to this video. And even characterized, I won't say much, even characterized what was going on. Reporting on it in video. What was happening behind the scenes? That was a private hearing. And she knew, told her audience, she's been served now. Hmm. She said she's calculating. She said, let me turn off my volume all the way together. Hang on. Yes. Let's see what I just do with that. And also, there's going to be another thing coming up soon. And because I have the dates of all of these videos, what do you think was coming up soon? It's going to be another public record. It's going to be added as well. And it's going to be something totally different, totally shocking, totally surprising. Really? Going to be added. Like similar to what we did for Bundy. Right? To get her served. Wow. We did. Who is the we? Danielle. What we did? You planning something? Sound like to me. Mm. We, a man. I'm not going to read all of it. Just enough to let you know that I finally gotten around to it. Who is we, Danielle? Play this for the court. Similar to what we did for Bundy to get her served. Really? Okay. Sounds like we isn't. I know the other person wanted to get me served, but you worked with her? Is that what you're saying here? Who is the man? Who is the man that came up to my door? Who is the man that you knew came up to my door? So when finally got served, oh, was that information relayed? I guess it was. Was he driving a red car? Sitting out in my driveway, horizontally blocking my driveway? Or was that somebody else? I just imagine this has to be one of the reasons why. They just don't want discovery. Because if we get to discovery, we might just discover something. Because, see, I didn't know this part. I hadn't looked. And just because it's not part of the record now, well, I don't know. I didn't make this up. Now I know I didn't make it up. Never have. I know someone has been following me since 2024, at least 3 times. Sitting in vehicles, and one person followed me into a store and gave me the middle finger. A man dressed in a baseball cap. He was Caucasian. Had a beard and a mustache. He had on a headset. Mhm. He came up from behind me. I didn't see him. When he passed me, he spoke and then kept, like, get my attention, like, okay. And I spoke. Then he walked ahead of me. Mhm. He did. He didn't have a shopping cart or anything. He didn't. I had a shopping cart. But maybe he was just going to pick up 1 or 2 items. But it's odd. He didn't leave with any. No. When he turned around and he could see, I was like, dawned on me that just didn't feel right. And when he turned around, he saw I was looking in his direction, and he was across the store. And he gave me the middle finger. What did I do to this person? Nothing. Nothing. Same description, a different location. A man, Caucasian, wearing a baseball cap with the beard and mustache. Glasses, always glasses. Darkened, like tinted. When I looked up, I was in my car. And he's sitting in the parking lot, looking my way. I'm like, It's like you can feel when eyes are on you, like you don't know, but it's just this feeling that you get. Who is the man, Danielle? Because you actually said something about him. Who is he? Someone hired? Tell the court. Please, oh, please, oh, please. Bring it up. Please do. I bet you she won't put that in the filings along with all the other third parties that she's tried to insert. No. And then the recording. Remember the recording that another content creator played? When Daniel was talking about, a private investigator and following someone, at their home. Yeah, she thinks this is a sport. And she talked about, what did she call it? An I Spy or something like that? And she described that it wouldn't cost much money. She could just do it for a day. You get a camera and you sit it outside of their home, plant it somewhere. And she said she could watch and see and get pictures of their kneecaps. That video of that other content creator, she had that removed. Mhm. Then it appeared somewhere else and she had that removed because she didn't want that to be heard. Allegedly. Well, I think she really doesn't want this case to move forward. No, she showed up for this. We're 151 filings in. She wants this one totally dismissed. It's a process. I don't know how it's going to go. But the more I search through what I have, the more I realize, my goodness, how did I missed this? Yeah. We learn. I said if I had a do-over, and she didn't want and fought all the way for anything to be added. That's what I'm waiting on right now. I'm waiting on another ruling separate from the report and recommendation that I haven't read to my audience. Yeah, that there's a couple, two or maybe two things that are going on. Yeah, aside from the report and recommendation, and it has to do with the conspiracy part. Mhm. And right now, that's been dismissed. It's not part, it's not, but I am trying to get a supplement for the portion of the picture, that collaboration. And she doesn't want that in. No, because she came right back and responded. And I haven't read that to you guys. I haven't read mine's. Yeah. There's a lot going on still. Yeah. All alleged. But I do have the video. And I said, based on what she said. Yeah. I would love to have that explained. Yeah. Yeah, what do you mean we? When we got her served. Okay. It's midnight. In due time, baby Juju, I know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know what I know. I know what I know. I know what I know. And I do know this. This is a lesson to everyone. It's not, and I've said this, it's not what you can say or put in a filing, not even what you know. It's what you can prove. And part of the proving is having receipts. And part of the receipts is gathering all of the evidence as much as possible, taking your pictures, recording, downloading the videos, because when it comes to the court, they're going to ask for the records, the dates, all of that. And we're not there yet. No, we're a long ways still. Well, when I say a long ways, we just don't know. I absolutely don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. And she is going to throw everything at this court. And it doesn't matter what, as long as she gets the result that she needs to stay anonymous and away from discovery, because she's already said, stay the discovery. So, it's late. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah. And the nerve. I wish someone would please pull a receipt. I've never threatened anyone. And a lot of people on this platform believe things that they hear that are simply not true, and never a receipt shown, ever. It's just a narrative that's been planted. Yeah. Have to be extremely diligent. Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's gonna, this is what I'm telling you. I really don't believe she's gonna show up on the 14th either. This is, yeah. She didn't want. No. She's come. She said she's clever. She's smart. And she said she loves getting the last laugh, and she's going to laugh at everyone. She said she's going to get away with this. I keep saying that, I know. She said she has no limits. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Let me look at my email once more and see what's going on. If anything, inbox tonight. Okay, so if you sent me an email, I'm reading it right now. That's a nice one. It's called Turban Tiki. Yeah. But now it's time to say goodnight to all of you. Yeah. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. I see a comment. Let me just make sure. Da, 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 da. Okay, yeah. So just yeah, check out Unwind with Teddy Community Wall, and thank you all of you for dropping by. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.